Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today is Friday. It is January 28th. I don't know why I had to look. That one should be easy to remember. 2023. My name's Jeremy. All right, and this is my first cup. Oh. Feeling a little sleepy still, but that's okay. I hope you are well. I hope all of you are well out there. And I'm glad that you're here with me. Thanks for joining me. I see people coming in, and that's great. Glad everybody's here. Well, it's still raining. Remember before when it wasn't raining? I don't. It was sunny yesterday, but it was still raining. Like literally, it was bright sun and it was pouring rain. It was insane. Who's here? Good morning to Jenny and Dennis and Stacy. And all the rest of you out there, whether you're watching live, later, or listening. Dennis says, who gets your heart pumping? He gets the party jumping. He is Jeremy. I'll let you read the rest of his lyrics there. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that. Stacy says she's still in bed. Jenny says, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Yeah, we had a core team meeting last night. Was up until, let's see, meeting ended a little bit before 10. And I went to bed. I don't sleep well when it rains. That seems to be the common denominator. So I will be going back to bed for at least a little while after the show because I'm very tired. And I have a chance to do that today. There's some work that I need to do today. But not a ton. A few hours. I'm probably going to go into my office. And for those of you that are keeping track of such things, my office is downtown in the area that was flooded. And I'm going to go in and see what it's like working there. Because there's a very good chance that I'm going to give up my office at the end of August. So, because spending money for an office that I don't want to use because it's too depressing, not really something I'm going to do. Yeah. It's been hard. It's been really hard. But getting through it, and I'm just thankful that I didn't have it nearly as badly as so many others. Please pardon the yawning. So how have you been? It's been a week. How's your week been? We released a couple great episodes, Martial Arts Radio this week. Got some other cool stuff going on. Free training days are taking shape. Mid-Atlantic, Pacific Northwest, and Northeast Martial Summit, the umbrella event that includes Free Training Day Northeast, just keeps getting bigger and bigger. More and more people are saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. It is going to be ridiculous. If you have a chance to make it, November 9th through 12th, it is undoubtedly worth flying in for, especially since most things are free. There are a few paid things that are available. But if you're looking for the absolute best value in martial arts training, yeah, Martial Summit. Good morning, Nathan. So what's going on today? What's going on this weekend? I'd love to hear from all of you in the chat. Let me know. Tomorrow I've got some improv. This is the first weekend in many weekends that I don't have something planned. I'm very excited for that. Sunday, the weather's supposed to still be good. Here, let's check on that. I haven't been on my motorcycle since 2021. I didn't ride last year because of the Jeep. The Jeep kind of filled that role for me, but I miss the motorcycle. And well, Sunday I'm around and it's not going to rain, so we'll see how that goes. Good morning, Mel. Good morning, Kelly. Jenny says about Free Training Day Mid-Atlantic, I'm announcing our presenters already. Yes, FTD MA is that close. Let's check the weather. What we got going on? Sunday's showing pretty much perfect motorcycle weather, 75 for a high. Means I can actually put on some safety gear. Because once it gets into the 80s, wearing gears, it's tough. Oh, shoot. Oh. So that's going on. And just been enjoying in between the raindrops, enjoying the garden. There's a lot growing. All this rain made it kind of crazy. Blueberries are out. Unfortunately, they're not as good as they've been in some years because there's so much water. And no random HP program I don't want you to install right now. Thank you for asking. Good morning, Brian. I'd love to hear what's going on with you all. I feel disconnected from you. This is the one downside to doing the show weekly, is that I don't get to hear as much from all of you. So let me know. Drop it in the chat. And I guess we'll keep going because I don't know what else to say. Frank did send over stuff. I want to thank Frank for doing that. Thank you, as always, to our Frank. We've got some jokes. We've got some quotes. We're going to start with the jokes, as we do. Let's see where those take us. The jokes for Fun Day Friday. Come on, this one. You can do it. Then it says, after all this rain, lots of grass cutting this weekend. Yeah, I can totally see that. That makes sense. So tomorrow is National Day of the Cowboy. So we've got some cowboy-themed jokes for you. Hold on. You ever drink wrong? There we go. Almost aspirated on that water. Come on, throat. There we go. Jokes. Cowboy jokes. A cowboy randomly stood up and drunkenly sang, "Never gonna give you up. I was hick rolled." A cowboy opens up a German car dealership. "Audi, partner." I like Audi, Audi. It's a car brand. Little known fact. Cowboys don't roll joints. They tumble weed. Back in the 1800s, cowboys hung lanterns from their saddles at night. It's the first example of satellite navigation. What does a Buddhist cowboy say when they're surprised? What in reincarnation? Cowboy thought he had 100 cows, but when he counted them, there were only 97. So he rounded them up. It's a cowboy joke and a math joke. I'm a cowboy, but my pronouns are yee-haw. What do you call a retired cowboy? Deranged. Range. Open range. Deranged. Did you hear about the cowboy who worked at a bank? He was the Lone Ranger. These are wonderfully terrible. Two flies are in the kitchen. Which one is the cowboy? The one on the range. What did the Jedi say to the cowboy? May the horse be with you. How did the cowboy do that? I ask you again. How'd he do? My wife left me because of my obsession with cowboys, but that's okay because this town ain't big enough for the both of us. A man dies and comes back to life as a cowboy. I call that reincarnation. Some really good ones in there. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate you. Thank you to Josh for a theme song. Thank you to Denise for the audio. Brian and Dennis are chuckling about these. Dennis likes the tumbleweed run one. Jenny liked the hick rolled one. Where else can you start your day with jokes? Where else can you start your day with often calendar referenced jokes? National Day of the Cowboy tomorrow. Maybe I'll wear, I was going to say Spurs. I don't own Spurs. I don't even know how I would dress up as a cowboy. I do have a hat that's kind of cowboyish. I guess I could wear that. Jimmy says, excellent collection of jokes, Frank. Yes, they were. So I believe all of you know I'm starting a martial arts school. First class, August 23rd at the town hall in this little town of Moortown. I'm excited. Decent hardwood floors, a couple of awkwardly placed support columns, which is a necessity for a martial arts school. And I'm excited. Wanted to make sure that I shared something positive, given that I've been complaining about the rain. I'm going to keep complaining about the rain. Trying to not complain too publicly about it. The grass is insane. The garden is insane. There's so much food coming on. I was out there and the spaghetti squash plants, I think I counted another 12 or 15 blossoms. And I have no doubt that they'll set. I'm going to have more food and I know what to do with. Mel, about that town hall. I've been to many wedding receptions there. Great building. It really is. Stacy says you dress up as a cowboy, blue jeans, plaid shirt, and a hat. Well, the first two are kind of my dress fall through spring. So I don't know if everybody's going to get that. It might just look like, hey, Jeremy, why are you wearing a cowboy hat? You need clumpy boots to be a cowboy. You need boots with like a heavy wooden sole. So you can go ka-chung, ka-chung, ka-chung as you walk around. Let's turn to the quotes. Let's see what those give us for today. Here we go. We have 3 quotes today from Joseph Campbell, who I had to look up. And he's a professor and a writer. And if Frank is giving us quotes from him, I'm going to imagine an insightful person. What just happened? Try that again. There we go. All right. Is this looking right? Yeah, we're good. Opportunities to find deeper powers within ourselves come when life seems most challenging. Isn't this another way of saying growth comes when you're out of your comfort zone? Opportunities to find deeper powers within ourselves comes when life seems most challenging. Being challenged, being outside your comfort zone. Opportunities to find deeper powers, aka growing. It's something I've seen silent pushback on from some people over the last few weeks as I bring up this point. It doesn't mean you have to be uncomfortable. It doesn't mean you have to choose growth. But if you want it, I feel like I'm in a perpetual state of discomfort right now. I don't know where that leads me. I do have some ideas. There are some things happening. There are things going on in my life that I'm not ready to talk about. But there are some big things that could lead to some big changes. And see what happens. I like this. I like this quote. I like thinking about this concept because I think it gives us some context for why, for how we can look at difficult situations differently. You know, we all experienced those days, weeks, or months, aka July, where it seemed like so many things just went sideways. And it can be really tempting and easy to just kind of push back or be mad at the world or whatever else. But those times aren't often, they're not constant. And those times create tremendous change. And if we handle them right, they create tremendous change within ourselves. And that's an opportunity. Most growth does come iteratively, little bits over time. But once in a while, you get something put in front of you that, yeah, it's going to be a big chunk of growth right now. Oh, Stacey says, Joseph Campbell is an amazeballs writer and translator. Right on. What's his next one? There's perhaps nothing worse than reaching the top of the ladder and discovering that you're on the wrong wall. Is this not another way of saying find your why? Don't get trapped in progress for the sake of progress. Make sure the progress is in the direction you want. I could do a really good job of digging a hole, but what if I dig the hole in the wrong location? I could do a really good job of, pruning a tree. What if it's the wrong tree? If you don't know why you're doing something, it's a good chance, well, not necessarily, there is a chance that you're doing the wrong thing. Make sure you understand the why. When we talk about it in the context of martial arts, why you train dictates how you train and when you train and where you train and who with and what you're training and how you feel when you train, how you dress when you train, right? That why inspires everything else. But most of us don't ask that question. And I get it. It's easy to, I'm going to go to class. Cool. Do I expect that all of my future students will be there for the same reason? Not a chance. Is it my job as their instructor to support them in their training for their own reasons? As best I can, yeah. They'll all be in the same classes. But if somebody's there because they want to compete and somebody's there because they want self-defense, and I know that, there are adjustments they can make that I can support them in. I don't expect everyone to do everything exactly the same. In fact, as an aside, the number one thing that I think will be different about my school, or that I know will be different about my school versus most, built on a lot of free-form movement. Okay, take the next 3 minutes in shadow box, shadow spar. Take the next 5 minutes in shadow spar using only the techniques we worked on today. Only moving in this direction. Only with your right hand. Some of you are having flashbacks to seminars. Find your why. Let it help you find everything else. Last one. I think a person who takes a job in order to live, that is to say for the money, has turned himself into a slave. Work begins when you don't like what you're doing. There's a wise saying, make your hobby your source of income. Then there's no such thing as work, and there's no such thing as getting tired. That's been my own experience. I did just what I wanted to do. It takes a little courage at first, because who the hell wants you to do just what you want to do? They've all got lots of plans for you, but you can make it happen. I'll agree with a bit of an asterisk. It's not a simple thing to pull off, not an easy thing to pull off. And it is incredibly rare that you're going to love every aspect of what you do, even if it is the thing that you want to do. I've always professionally done what I wanted to do. Doesn't mean I love every aspect of it. Even my favorite clients, there are days I don't want to work with them or work on their stuff. Even though I love doing martial arts radio, there are days where I'm like, I don't feel like recording today. I love doing this show. I didn't want to get out of bed this morning. I'm tired. It's natural. But why do I do all those things? Why did I get out of bed? Because it's important to me to be here for this show. The why matters to me. Why do I record those episodes of Martial Arts Radio? Because I know that as I work on that show, consistent with one episode missed in 8+ years due to a technical glitch, I recorded the show. Anyway, that's led us to some pretty great things. But I do take the point of this. And I believe that the heart of this quote is about leveraging your passion into a career. Because that is finding your why. And when you found your why, everything works better. Now, maybe you're not taking your hobby and turning it into a career, but you find your reason. Your reason for getting out of bed. Why do you get out of bed? Find something that gets you so fired up that you don't have a hard time getting out of bed. That you're excited for your life. It doesn't start that way. But you've got to find something that can lead you there. You've got to think about your why. You've got to think about what you want to do. Otherwise, it's constant reacting. You're doing the bare minimum. You're fighting to carve out a few hours or a couple days here and there to do things that you enjoy. What if you enjoyed your job? What if you enjoyed all the things in your life? Doesn't mean you always want to do them, but you can still enjoy them. They can still be better than working a job that you hate, living with people that you dislike, training somewhere that you don't want to be, being someone you don't want to be. You can change all those things. Dennis says, usually the main reason I get out of bed is my bladder. Jenny says, I get out of bed to prove to my kids that even when we struggle, we can find our way forward. Yeah. You have full control. You may not realize it. You may not want it, but you do. No one is in control of your life beyond you. You may have given that control to somebody, in part. You can take it back. You have the ability to take it back. but that also means you take the responsibility. One of the greatest disconnects for human beings is when responsibility and authority are not in line. There are plenty of authority that doesn't work well. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. I hope you have a great week ahead. I hope you'll continue to consider, or already do, support us. Number one way, join the family Patreon, Whistlekick. Patreon.com/Whistlekick. Other things you can do, you can buy stuff at whistlekick.com with the code FIRSTCUP15. We're selling a lot of those breeze pants. People are digging those. I'm working on some new designs for some things. Have a great weekend. Take care, Liz. Well, thanks for giving me the chance to do the show. And I hope you'll spend some time, whether it's today or over the weekend or over the next week until I see you again, thinking about where, if anywhere in your life, you've put somebody else in charge. Nobody's ever going to care about you more than you. Nobody's going to care about your finances more than you. Don't offload those to some financial advisor. Doesn't mean you don't use them. It means you still have to know what's going on. Same goes for medicine. Your training, your instructor's never going to care more about your training than you do. If you show up fired up, they're going to give you extra. Promise you that. You're worth it. Never forget that. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next Friday. Take care.